Can you hear the sound now? We are about to begin the IQLECT live stream in few minutes. Hi, good evening, everyone. We are IQLECT and we are beginning our live stream this evening. So, my name is David. I'm part of the team at IQLECT, and I have Vishwanath here with me, who is part of the development team that makes this amazing tool for real-time and predictive analytics. So this is our first live stream, and probably there most likely will be a little bit of hiccups because this is the first time we're using the tool. However, what we want to bring and show you guys today is how to use this tool, what this tool does, and how you can use this tool to improve your efficiency as well as your productivity. So this is going to be the first of many more series of live streams to come. So if you are tuning in for this channel for the first time, you may as well click that red color bell symbol down there and subscribe to our channel. If you are somebody who's working with a lot of data in terms of somebody like operational IT operational role, then you might find our tool extremely useful and extremely helpful for your day-to-day operation. So here we begin. First of all, let's discuss what IQLECT does. IQLECT is a real-time data analytics platform, and this platform is built on our own architecture, built on our own layers of different technologies, where we build the entire layer and the entire stack by ourselves, and we built apps on top of that. So just like how your cell phone has different type of operating systems, where Android or iOS, and you have different apps to download from the App Store, IQLECT works pretty much in the similar concept. The only difference here is that the apps here are not exactly the apps like the phone apps, but the ones that you use for your more professional use. And in this video, what we are going to do is we are going to, look at the platform, probably go through the controls, give you a short introduction. Of course, you can always play around. You can easily sign up even for free. And as you sign up, you'll find there are a lot of apps on our App Store that you could find useful. And we will try to install an app and show you how to get it up and running. We'll show you how easy it is. we try to make the platform as easy as possible so that it requires almost no coding at all. So, all right, so let's begin. So, the screen that you see in front of you is what you get as soon as you create your account. So, when I say you create your account, means you type in your email and your other details and you complete the sign up process. You need to verify your email ID, of course, just like any SaaS product. And once you log into the platform, you land up on, not this page exactly, you land up on a page that shows the different metrics of your account, like how many apps are there, how many streams those apps contain, what are the dashboards, charts, etc. We'll very soon get into those later. I mean, if we are not unable to cover it today, maybe in the subsequent videos we will cover those items. All right, so the first thing that you need to do is, this is just a platform. Now you need to use the platform, you need to start using an app. Now what does an app do? What app does is, app solves one single problem. For example, an app could probably check your website for you. An app could check your server for you or your router for you. So similarly, there are many apps on our app stores that you can install. Whenever you install any app, you will find those apps in your My Apps section. If this is the first time you have logged in, you will probably see that there are no apps over here, but it gives you an option. You can create a new app or you can add an app from the store. Now, the list on the right hand side shows that different apps, those are available. And on the left hand side, it tells you to create a new app. Now, you may start building a new app, but however, what I would recommend is that before you begin creating an app, have a look at one or two of our apps, how they work, so that you can familiarize yourself with the concept. There is a short introduction video as well. You can always watch that video and get to know more about the platform. But on our account, what we will try to do first is probably install an app and see how easy or how difficult that process is. So there is an app store section where you have different apps, different apps for different purposes, different devices, different applications, and you can choose any of them and see which one you'd like to go with. So just as an example, since this is the first video, we are going to choose any of these apps, and probably, let's see, there are different categories. On the top right corner, you can choose the apps from those categories, and right. So there is something called Linux server app. We shall try to install this and see how to get up and running. So for that, all you need to do is go to the App Store and click on the Install App. It will take probably a few seconds for the app to set up. Alright, so now if you see, earlier when we were on My Apps page, it told us that whether we can either we could create an app or we could install an app. Now since we have installed the app, it shows all the apps that you have installed. This is the app we have installed, and once you enter the app, the instructions are right there in front of your face how to begin using it. For example, this sending instructions section actually tells you what are the steps that you need to follow to get this app running. Since it's a Linux server app, logic dictates that we need to have a Linux server, and these commands that you need to run, these probably you would require an administrative privilege to run these commands. At any point when you're using the platform, if you are confused or you're looking for any help, please do click on the top right corner where the small I symbol is, and it should give you introduction, examples, and help videos on how to use the platform. So we'll close it for now because we most likely know what we have to do. And all right, so right now from my system I have logged into one of my servers. This server is on Azure and it's running Ubuntu 14.04. If you see our server, our app here is for Linux server, and we have one of the Linux servers up there. And what we are going to do is try to monitor this server and see how that works. Okay, first now we'll try to run these two commands that you see over here. Um, it is possible that this command had been run on this server before. Okay, it was there before. So now to begin streaming data, on the app on the left hand side you see there are dashboards. So if you go to the dashboards now, you wouldn't see any data because this app is not connected to any data source, so there is nothing that's coming up. However, if we need to start streaming the data from the server. So what this app will do is basically take various information from the server, like the server health, the file, the CPU, memory, etc., and send those data to the IQLECT platform. As a server admin or a DevOps professional, I think that is quite useful. Now let's copy this command, and all you need to do is just paste it. Yep, the running of the command is complete. Now, if we just refresh our account and visit dashboard, you should be able to see data coming in. Yeah, there you go. Just a minute ago, before we ran the command, there were no charts or graphs being populated. But now as the data starts to flow in, you can see the data being populated here in real time. So this is just the visualization parts where the data you can see as they are being generated. So different statistics, different information, they get populated and they displayed on IQLECT platform in real time. So what we work with is pretty much sub-second latency, which is almost unheard of in the market. So when we did talk about real time, I think many of the organizations today, what they speak about is probably a couple of minutes of delay. So initially when I told you that we have built the entire platform from the ground up, one of the main reason was that we wanted to reduce that latency, and we wanted to reduce that handshake period that happens between different modules. So we kept it very compact, and the data keeps getting generated almost instantaneously. Now, this is only the first part where the data begins to flow in. Now, secondly, what do you do with that data? Now, there are different features that this platform has packed into it. Maybe in the subsequent videos, we will get into the details of it, but just to give you a brief on what you can do with this platform, here are a couple of things. Number one, correlation, for example. Now, you are monitoring your data server or your Linux server using this app. Now, let's say tomorrow there's another device or another data source that you want to monitor. You could just install another app and get the data into the same platform. And if you want to correlate between those data, you can do that on this platform. Now, that is very unlikely possible with other platforms or other tools. And even if you want to do that, you probably would have to write custom scripts or custom codes to achieve that. What IQLECT gives you is a ready-made platform where you can just plug, stream data, and then start visualizing, start doing analysis, correlation between them, and more. Now, second thing is among the other regular analysis stuff, we have aggregation, where you collect data, you can count them, you can find average, you
maximum.
Yeah, correct. Thanks, Vishwanath. Maximum, minimum, or cardinality of the values and the stream. In addition to that, you can also perform top K analysis, which would give you something like what are the top 10 customers for my website, or what are the top 10 events that's happening in my on my device, or what are the top 10 processes that's absorbing a lot of or consuming a lot of resource. Similarly, we have something called complex event processing, and complex event processing is where you have a time-bound event, and you try to do analysis across them. For example, let's say you want to say within the last 5 minutes, how many people walked into your store and made a purchase. So those kind of analysis, or within the last 5 minutes or within the last 1 minute, this has happened, or what are the events that has taken place. So that is an example of complex event processing. Similarly, we have something called long-term analysis. Now, we do come across as a platform that does real-time analysis or time series analysis of data. However, that is not the end of our platform. There is also long-term analysis where we store the data. We do analysis in real time, but after doing the analysis, we store the data into our DB, and later we can pull that up and do long-term analysis. The next part is the action, which is very interesting because this is the one that gives you alerts. For example, this app, if you look, has something called CPU high action. So it's basically sends you a notification in case there is CPU usage exceeding a certain limit for one time in 30 seconds. You will instantaneously get the notification. Now these kind of things are extremely helpful, especially when you have a lot of devices to monitor, where you have a lot of data sources to manage, and you may not be able to keep a watchful eye on all of them. An alert system or an activity, the action system helps you in ensuring that everything is running smoothly. The next section is create chart. In the create chart section, what you do is you basically create visualization for all your incoming data. So the next section is probably the coolest one that we have among many more cool features to come in the future, which is called the link data source. Now, link data source is where you do all the magic. Yeah. So link data source is where you link, let's say, Linux app to a website app, and then do the correlation. So tomorrow, if there's something wrong with your website app or website data, you will be able to track your path back to your Linux app. Let's say your operating system is not running smoothly. So how do you do those kind of root cause analysis otherwise? General trend in data analysis is that we collect the data at the end of the week or end of the month and then perform analysis. But at that point, to be honest, actually many of the data or insights that you get, uh, like they're already outdated, and the opportunity to correct your mistakes, probably you have already missed that. So linked data source will provide you an action, and what it will do is that you can track back, and that is a very powerful method of doing root cause analysis, not only within a particular data source but across your data sources. Um, if now just one thing I've probably forgot is that if you go back to the create chart section, then we provide numerous ways to do analysis. There are normal analysis, you can do comparative analysis, trend analysis, and different types of analysis. Those are allowed. The agent settings section is where, see, uh, this is where actually you can, manipulate the agent that is collecting the data.
This is where you set the time period. For example, you want to set the granularity. How frequently should it collect? How frequently should it send the data? Or what parameters that it should take? For example, you don't want a particular data. For example, CPU frequency, you want it to be taken every 10 seconds. So you can set the value to 10 here and then probably save that information. And it automatically gets converted into your agent configuration, which gets sent over to your machine. So all the configuration is directly from this portal, and you don't have to do any further. You don't have to log into your system again to modify anything. All the changes are from the portal.
So, okay, so basically if I change the value over here, what Vishwanath you're saying is that it will automatically update the command that I had copy pasted on my server earlier, correct?
Yes, that's right. So it automatically gets the latest configuration and makes sure that it acts on the latest configuration, not on an older configuration.
Correct. Correct. So basically, how you collect the data is always within your control. You never lose control in terms of, okay, once you run the collector agent on your data source, you can always come back here and control it instead of going to the data source again and again and manipulating the config file or changing the values over here, right? So next is the custom log. What does custom log? What it does is basically if you have different log files, certain log files may not be have a very standard structure. So in those uh, instances, what you do is you can write a regular expression for to read those log files and connect our agent to your server and just give the path where the log file is. Oh, it's over here, the first one. And it will collect your log and bring it onto our platform where you can slice, dice, and analyze the data. The next one is the ad hoc analysis. Ad hoc analysis is, as the name suggests, is very ad hoc. So while most of the structure within our system has streams in it, ad hoc analysis is slightly different. Ad hoc analysis is something that is you can perform on the go. Like it's for an example, you can take it as like a random analysis that's not happening on a continuous basis. But one fine day you wake up and you want to find out, okay, what happened in the last 3 months. You pull up the data from there and perform an ad hoc analysis. Okay. So we have included a couple of data science, especially R integration standard functions with it. So you can perform these analysis while the streaming data is coming onto your platform. text search is if you have indexed a few of your streams, you can always perform search. Let's say you go back and say, give me the list of streams which had the message in that includes error 404, you know, like web page not found. Um, that is what this text search does. Stream analysis is something that, as I mentioned earlier, is the purest form of ad hoc analysis, where you can pull up any of the streams. And once you pull up any of the streams, just look for a particular key between a certain time period, or look for a particular stream or particular information. You can perform, you know, you can create a temporary chart and visualization. You can do a little bit of an aggregation on top of that. Of course, for all the heavy lifting, you do have the customized section and the analyze portion there. But for ad hoc operations, you can always use the ad hoc analysis section. Then we come to the publish option. Now, this is the coolest one. Once you start building an app or start using an app, you might customize the app for your particular need. So once you have done that, what you can do is you can publish the app to the world. Let's say your friend also wants to use the same app that you are using, but he doesn't want to go through the process of customization. So all you need to do is publish the app, and if your friend or if your colleague has IQLECT account, all he needs to do is go to the app store, download that app and use it. Notification templates are where you create different types of notifications. Earlier we spoke about actions, which could give you alerts. Now, how does those alerts go to you? It goes through notifications. So what kind of notification are you looking for? Is it email? Is it SMS? Is it, what kind of message? What should be the frequency, or what should be the conditions on which these notifications are shot out? So those kind of adjustments can be done using the notification template. Reference data. Now it's a very interesting feature. Reference data is where you upload your bulk data. Let's say you have a trend, or you already know that there is a certain pattern to any events happening within your system. You can upload that data using the reference data feature. And when your streaming data actually matches those events or matches those conditions, it could give you an alert. It could take particular action. You can even trigger APIs using actions. So I think we missed that part earlier. So actually, when you create an action, you have a section where you can trigger an API endpoint. So basically, you may not even have to do anything. You may not even have to check your email. Let's say you say condition A, trigger API for SMS. So you could just mention that SMS API endpoint here. And every time the condition A happens, an SMS is triggered. So those kind of settings, actions and notification templates go very hand in hand.
And this need not be just with SMS. For example, if you want to take an action on based of something that has happened, for example, on if your server goes down, you need to take some larger operations, and those can be automated or hosted at some API endpoint, and we make a call to that endpoint. And with that, the custom actions that you want to do on your operations or on your systems, they can get triggered at that point.
Correct. That's right. So. So this is just an example of an app, and as you can see, the data is flowing in to the app. In our subsequent videos, probably we will dive deep into the features and different controls that we have. If you are looking for a real-time analytics, or if you are looking for an predictive analytics, I think the first step to predictive is real time. That is that you need to get the data as quick as possible, not 5 minutes delay, not 3 minutes delay, maybe as soon as the data is generated. And that is what we're trying to achieve. Um, do check out our website, that's www.iqlec.com, and you can also email us at info@iqlec.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And for the future videos where we tackle particular use cases, we have really cool use cases coming up, and which we can show you how to tackle using IQLECT platform. And for those, you feel free to subscribe to our channel. We plan to bring this kind of videos to you every week, and different colleagues of ours will be attending this this kind of videos, and you'll be able to get to meet the IQLECT team as well. All right. So, Vishwanath, you want to add anything else?
Nothing from my side.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Vishwanath. Thanks a lot for attending this live stream, and thank you for anybody who's watching it. And we will be, seeing you again. Thank you.